So, we're back in person.
We are back in person. I can touch your body with my hands.
Matt's really excited for this podcast because now we're coming up on Halloween.
Yes.
A lot of fun stuff, trick or treating, because we're adults.
Yep. I listen. I will throw a sheet over my body and go ooh, and go and just take candy from people.
I mean, there is a ghost in this house.
There is.
There is. You guys should watch that video.
There is a ghost. We found the found footage. So, anyway.
If you guys haven't seen that video, I encourage you to watch that fucking video. That was a cinematic masterpiece. I'm gonna put it up right the fuck here. Boom, pop, editing. Fuck, dude.
I like when you see
You're gonna die tonight.
You're gonna die
Totally off topic, but like I want you guys to know, if you can find the part in that video where I get the sheet stuck in the door, I will personally Venmo you $5.
You mean when the ghost gets the
When the ghost, because it wasn't me in the sheet, dude. All I'm saying is when we recorded that fucking video, I fucked up, man. I was like, you're gonna die tonight. Close the door. Clay walks out the door, and it's just, you freed me, man. I was stuck. But now today we have a pretty good movie, I thought.
I mean, it was definitely not as good as the marketing campaign for the movie. The movie itself wasn't.
What was the movie called?
Gavin. No.
Stop.
Sorry. It was called Smile.
Smile.
Yeah. So the whole thing about the movie, it was weird because I was actually watching the what was it, the Dodgers game or like a Yankee game, whatever it was. No. I wasn't watching the game, but I was looking through like the highlights of games and stuff, and then I come across this TikTok, and it's like this person standing there menacingly just smiling behind home plate, and then I see the people doing it like in like the different games like across the country and everything. I was like, what the? And so then I found out that it was for a movie, right? Yeah. Now, so their marketing campaign was pretty good, I think.
Very good.
I would say it's pretty good. It was so simple. It's about promoting a part of the movie where they're just standing there smiling and nothing else. Like they're not like, and I mean, I give full credit to those people because you know how hard it is to just stand there, not move, just smile for like extended periods of time,
and making sure some kind of camera catches you.
Yeah, and literally didn't break smile.
Yeah,
like just try to smile.
How long were they smiling for?
Like a while.
Really?
Yeah, like just I was like. That's great because I tried to do that. I literally was in my house and I was like smiling as long as I could, and my cheeks hurt. And,
is that like one of those things where like you try to hold your breath for like a movie, and it's like, oh, I wonder if I can do that too?
Yeah. And then you can't, and you're like, well. Then you realize that there's only select movies in the entire creation or entire history of movies ever where they did those like full shot of them holding their breath.
Yes.
A lot of the time it's CCGI when they're water. Yeah.
So all those times I try to hold my breath for like 20 minutes at a time.
Yeah. Or there'll be like a bunch of different shots cut up. So they'll like dive down for like a couple seconds and then they'll cut and then they'll do it again like at the same, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or they'll have but when they do the full length shots, they'll have like a scuba diver with them with oxygen in case they.
That I know. 'Cause I know you're going to hate me for this. Sorry, I'm just making sure everything's good. Bring your voice up.
Thanks, Jamie.
Yeah, you're welcome. But I know when I first realized that, and you're gonna hate me for saying this, was Harry Potter. Why are you smiling, man? Was when he did that underwater scene with the with like the egg, or not the egg, when he was with like those mermaid type deal things, and they would do the shot, but then you had to like put the air on and like all that kind of stuff, make sure he's safe, and that's when I first realized I was like, oh, well, I guess because I thought when you're in that kind of scene, right. Mm-hmm. You go under, you go little words, and then you come up. But to be able to smile for that long, it just would wreck me.
Yeah, I don't know how they did it.
It'd be like OG Mudbone on a Saturday night, but
no, they. With the movie itself, like I knew. So everybody that I saw like on TikTok or Twitter or Instagram or whatever it was, they would be like, this is the scariest movie I've ever seen, like yada yada yada. Now, if you're someone similar to myself, to where movies like quote unquote scary movies don't really scare you, like at all, then you would be probably been just as skeptical as I was.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for me, when I was little, everybody told me that the scariest movie of all time was The Exorcist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
well, I mean, I still think it's a pretty good movie. I thought
mean,
it
it's
was a
alright,
good
yeah.
movie. Yeah.
So I remember I was like maybe like 16, 17, and I was like, you know what, F it, like I want to watch The Exorcist. So
Sure.
I went to the basement, turned off all the lights.
No,
And
sir, no, thank you.
I put on The Exorcist and I watched it, and I caught myself like giggling and like being bored, like you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
not terrified at all. And I was like, well, now I hold no stock in what anybody says. You know what I mean about whatever. So that's why when this movie came out, I was like, all right, it's probably gonna be trash, but I mean, it was $5, like we'll go watch
Well,
it.
yeah,
So. It was a good time. Like it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
See, I like seeing movies with you guys. I have
Yeah.
found, and this is nothing to nobody else. I do enjoy seeing movies with you guys because I think like we all have the kind of like the same outlook. Now, I thought obviously it was a little scarier than you guys.
Yeah.
I'm a pussy, but I did enjoy watching with you guys because especially when like those like massive scenes happen, which we'll get into in a little bit.
Yeah.
Also, spoiler alert, guys. We probably should have said that at the beginning.
Whatever. If you we haven't spoiled anything, but yeah, if you haven't seen the movie, then I would suggest pausing this video, go watch it, and then immediately unpause this video. Like literally go onto your TV in your house, and then put YouTube on it. Click on this video, and if you're at this part, pause it, go to the movies, watch the movie,
Yep.
come back,
Yep.
unpause it, and we can continue.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so now that was your window to pause or to
Yes. Yes.
to
it
click
was.
off the video. So if you haven't seen the movie, you're ruining it for yourself. But anyway, so so the movie pretty much it starts off and what I kind of enjoyed, like I enjoy movies. It's the same way Split started, where like it's like about
love
like
Split, yeah.
it's about like inside like the minds and like inside like a mental institution. Now fun fact, I was going to go to college for psychology, because I was really into psychology. I really loved it. I studied it like on my own like a bunch. I'm just really enthralled with like how the brain works, right? So whenever there's that kind of like a psychiatrist movie or like movies about mental health or whatever it is, such as Split, and so on and so forth, I really enjoy them. So it was really cool. It was really cool to see like, hey, like this is a psychiatrist. Like the main character is a psychiatrist, right? Yep. And everything about her life seems pretty normal.
Yes.
I mean,
very normal.
She's got a nice house, nice car,
Mm-hmm.
nice boyfriend.
Nice boyfriend.
Smash.
I'm joking.
It is what it is. And then she has a
That's the off.
yeah.
Yeah, threw me off too.
Yeah.
I was following you and I was like, you guys can't hear it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
No, so she has a client that come in like, and they're like, she's been working now for what they say like 18 hours straight or something like that.
I think it was 18 days straight.
No,
Or was it?
it was not 18.
Or not days straight. I'm saying, was it 18 hours?
Yeah, it was like something like she hadn't been home in like almost a full.
I'm fucking stupid.
Whatever.
Just yeah,
But
you're
yeah,
probably
so,
right. I'm
it
an
was
idiot.
something like along
Yeah.
those lines. She was at work for a very long time.
Really fucking long.
And what's funny about it was, you could tell that she didn't want to go home, or like she didn't want to not work. And then that's where it's like laying the foundation of like foreshadowing of like maybe something's wrong with her home life, maybe there's something wrong with her in general, whatever it is.
Well, that was the whole thing. She was about to leave.
Yeah.
Clocking out, had all her stuff ready to go.
Yep.
And that is when
Well, that's when the phone rang.
that's when the phone rang and
Yeah.
everything just went to shit.
Yeah, 'cause
that is
she-
when the movie starts.
She literally, like, her boss was like, look, her boss is also played by Kumar from Harold and Kumar. So, but yeah, so basically, he was like, listen, like, go home. You've been here for, like, let's just say, I think it was 18 hours straight or something like that. Go home get some sleep. And she was like, it might have been more, actually. Whatever. But she was like, okay. So she's leaving, and then as soon as like she leaves, the phone rings, and she like runs back and grabs it, and then that's when she gets a call for a client that came in. It's like a college-age woman, and she's freaking out.
freaking the fuck out.
And so she's like, you know, freaking out, like, you know, just terrified. And as the main character, as she's trying to, you know, what is her name?
The girl,
no, like the main character.
Oh,
what's her face?
Her in the thing, she's Mom Cotter, and it's played by Dora Kiss.
Right.
She's the main character.
Gotcha.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
So yeah, so she was like, so Mom was like, basically like, hey, we're gonna feel like, what's the matter? Like trying to figure out, like trying to talk to her, trying to do her job, and this chick is just like not talking. She's like schizo, like you know,
she's freaking the fuck out.
Yeah,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then come to find out, she was like talking about how these people, she saw these people smiling at her. This person smiling at her, like the most creepy smile you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
And every time she sees it, she gets this like overwhelming sense of dread.
Well, see, that's what freaked me out too. Was when I started realizing, like, okay, this is where shit's gonna go south. Is when the girl, that college age girl, she goes, I'm on par for my doctorate.
Yeah, like I'm not crazy.
Yeah, like I'm not crazy. Like I have good grades. Like I go to a good school. All this stuff. And she's like, I am a, what she said, I'm a candidate for a doctorate. Like my thesis, wherever it is. And I was like, oh, this about to be some shit, dude. Something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then. Oh,
and then
that was
so
a
basically,
graphic scene.
She ends up, basically what happened was she sees something like an apparition, or she sees something that's not there.
Yeah.
And then, you know, she goes through, and then she starts freaking out, and then with the camera work, all, you know, you basically pans around the room, and all of a sudden, boom, she's standing there like smiling, and now Mom's like, her name, like, you know, I'm just gonna call her Cotter.
Cotter. Yeah.
So Cotter's like, hey, like, are you okay? And then she starts. What does she do? She starts. How did she kill her? She ends up killing herself.
Oh yeah. So she takes like a metal shard or like some kind of knife,
right.
And she literally she. It's kind of like I think
she
I said
gave
it in the
herself
movie.
Basically a what is it? A Bulgarian necktie?
It's like a Romanian necktie, something like that,
or
a Colombian necktie.
Colombian necktie.
That's what she did, and she pulled it from like it was like the Joker. Put a smile on his face. And she just cuts her throat like straight through. But what's creepy about it is she's smiling. And you can see. So, Cotter's talking to the girl, who obviously isn't crazy, but she saw. Well, we'll get into that. Basically, nothing's in the room. Nothing's going on. And what ends up happening is this girl freaks out, starts running away, like crying. There's a wall. You're in a room, like you're trying to run away, you can't. And then you see a dramatic switch between freaking the fuck out and just demonic possession. Yeah. Just smiling. Kills herself. And that's when things go south.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's the thing is now fast forward, like, you know, now she sees this gruesome event, and Cotter doesn't know like what to do. Like, so now her boss is like, all right, like you got to go home now. You got to do whatever. Mm-hmm. Turns out one of the investigating detectives is her ex-boyfriend.
Yep.
And he's like, he likes her still, you know,
yeah,
whatever.
Played by Kyle Gallner.
Yeah.
Joel is his name in the movie.
Yeah. So Joel he's a detective, and she's like, he tries to talk to her and like kind of tries to hit on her, I guess. And he's like, you know, like, hey, like, what's up? Like, hey, how you feeling? Like, and she kind of gives him the cold shoulder. She's basically like, I have a boyfriend now. Like, you know, why are you talking to me? Kind of thing. So then and her boyfriend is actually played by A-Train from The Boys. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Great show. But he's basically he's her.
That was a rough scene.
He's her her boyfriend. And what you see is like she goes home and she's just like freaking out. Like she goes home and like, you know, she just feels like something's wrong with her. You can just get the sense that like there's more to what's like behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
So, but they have a nice life. Like she has like I said, they have a really nice house, you know, really nice car, really nice, you know, family life. It's her and her boyfriend and a cat. And of course, as a horror movie actress, seemingly whatever, they always have cats. I don't know why.
Which is a weird.
There was always a cat.
There's always a cat.
Like, why?
Even in The Conjuring, there's cats.
Yeah, and I get it. Like, you know, okay, like maybe the cat's like the black cat under the ladder and stuff, like whatever. But like, bro, I don't think everyone on the face of the planet has to have a cat. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, so they have a nice life, and then slowly things start like going wrong. So she ends up having to go on leave from her job.
Yep.
and she's at home, and her boyfriend's working all the time. Right, he works for like a law firm or something. And so then he's like, so basically, her life is starting to go haywire, and she's home alone, and she gets a call, or she hears her her alarm system going off.
My God.
Now this scene is actually pretty cool because it's setting up the whole scene where she's in this big ass house and it's completely dark for the most part,
all by herself,
and of course, it's like every room is dark except you know what I mean, except for the room she's in.
Just drinking wine,
playing on her computer,
and
she hears the alarm go off. So she goes and picks up the phone because the alarm people call her.
Yes.
And she's like, hey, like, I think my door was open, and they're like, did anything get in? And then she's like, I don't think so. And then they're like,
what was her code? It was like, what's your home security code?
Oh,
like
it was
sassafras, something like that.
No, it was like yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah,
like, whatever it was.
I just thought it was funny.
But yeah, so she goes, okay, like, did anything get in? Like anybody? And then she goes, no, I don't think so. And then they go, are you sure? And she goes, she goes, what? And then she like blinks, and like she's still at like the same part of the house she was like before she picked up, and then the phone rings again, and she realizes that was all in her head. And then you're like, oh man, like, oh, that's
because then they call back again.
Yeah, and then they're like, hey, like, and there was a real so then the cops come and everything, so she was all good, but yeah, that scene just blew my mind.
I have well, because like. And one thing that I will give it to them, right, is when she's in the house, you realize her whole life is going to shit at this point. She's possessed. She has this thing, and when she like they did one thing that I liked about this movie is they did a good job with like a lot of the jump scares. You would expect them, and they wouldn't happen. Like when she she's at the fridge. The camera's here, but it's pointing, and you expect to see something when she closes,
and then you don't.
Or like, and that loud like thing you were waiting for was like the alarm. So,
oh my God, dude, no.
That scared the shit out of me. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No, it was like they had some really cool parts of the movie, like some scenes that actually gave me chills. Where I was like, okay, like that was creepy.
Yeah.
But the more like, but then like her life's going on and whatever, and then you come to find out she has a. Like extended, like her not extended family, but like her family. She has a sister and like their family and everything.
Yeah.
And they're like, you see kind of their dynamic where it's like they're at dinner and the sisters are talking, and then she's like, the sister is basically like uptight. She's a stay-at-home mom where and but you can get the sense that like they're both kind of messed up because of what happened in their past.
Yeah.
And so basically she ends up, what I think is a cool part of the movie was, so her life's going on. And she's starting to, like, day by day lose more of herself. And she's starting to see the same thing, the same people that the chick that killed herself in front of her in the very beginning saw. So she's starting to see people, like, standing, like, in, like a big crowd of people.
Which is wild, because it's, like, you really... One thing that they do well is they get to... You get to see that dynamic of... You see how it was in the beginning.
Yeah.
She's overworked and everything like that, which doesn't help her case.
Yeah.
Especially with her job. Now, she sees this girl kill herself.
Yep.
And now she's starting to see things. She sees people staring at her. She sees people, like, in the window at her job or whatever it was when she went to go visit or whatever. And like, she's like, that doesn't make sense. That person's just standing there.
And like, it'd be like a crowd of people moving, hustle and bustle, and there's one person standing there staring at her. And it's like, all right, that's a little weird. But yeah, like, I don't know.
I don't know, man. That just...
But what's unfortunate for her is this is where the movie where she really full on starts going nuts is when she has her basically she finds like a toy train for her nephew's birthday party, and she wasn't able to go to the party at first because she had to work. Obviously she went on leave. Now she's able to go. Now she buys like a toy train, which I made fun of when we were in the movie theater. I was like, who the fuck is gonna play with a train? Like, it was literally like a piece of a train. I was like, whatever. So she puts a train in they make like a big deal about she puts a train in like the box, wraps it up, puts a bow on it like it's a birthday present. So then, like I said, movie's going on and nothing's really crazy happening. And then she's like, all of a sudden she's missing like her cat. And then that's the thing is I thought they were going to do something stupid where like she opens a drawer and then the cat's like in it, or like she opens a cabinet and the cat jumps out.
I thought the same thing.
And I was like, this is going to be dumb.
Because the one night she was freaking out. She had wine again. This was all after like the first initial like freak out with the alarm. My boyfriend comes home and she goes to open the back door, and she's looking for her cat.
Yeah.
And that's when I thought the same thing. I'm like, she's gonna open a door. She's gonna.
It's gonna go, wow.
It's gonna be at her work when she goes and like visits and opens a drawer, and there it is.
Yeah. But it was actually crazier because and anyway, so she's like, all right, she's trying to figure out like what to do with her life and everything.
Yeah.
So she ends up going to her nephew's birthday party, and everyone's kind of like sitting around, whatever,
having a good time.
And then boom, the camera pans, and there's someone in the corner of the room sitting there with everybody smiling.
And it's like a girl. Like it's a girl. It's not like a woman. It's like
it's actually one of the women that she walks. So she walks in, and there's her sister, and she's like, hey, like I'm gonna go put your gift with the other gifts. Like give me a second. And then there's 3 other women standing in the corner, talking, mingling, sipping on wine coolers, whatever. She goes over to them and she starts talking to them. Now the chick that's now smiling in the scene is the same chick, one of the same chicks that when she walked over there was in the group, right?
Yep.
So she goes over there and she's just smiling, and then she starts freaking out. She starts pointing, and she's like, "You see that too, right? Everyone look like you know, like she's like," and then like you can see like everyone's kind of looking at her like she's nuts, because she is nuts. And then the kid opens the birthday present, and
oh my god, this
so
scene,
he opens the birthday gift, and he opens the box. Now they don't really show anything, but he opens it and he looks down, and then they like pan real quick, and it's like the dead cat.
It's a dead fucking cat.
Like her cat is in a box, dead.
Oh,
and she loses her shit. She grabs the cat. She's like holding it, like rocking.
Yep, everyone's freaking the fuck out.
Everyone's screaming.
The
everyone's like, "What the fuck?" And like she's getting kicked out, and that's when like you can kind of see her brain officially like kind of like snap a little bit, where she's just like fully losing her mind. And then that's where I was like,
yes, well, because you're with family. They already know that you're on leave. You already had this big problem with your sister at dinner. Now you get to show up to the party. You're having a good time. And what really got me too is just to put the icing on the cake for me, for her, was when she's like, "Look, she's right there. She's smiling. Do you guys not see that?"
Yeah.
Nothing on the chair. Falls through the glass table. I was like,
that was a
dog. Situational awareness, bro. Zero,
bro. It's like you on Call of Duty, man. Like, oh my god.
Hey, man.
But yeah, anyway.
Hurtful.
Dude, it was bad. She just...
I was like, my Call of Duty career. I'm like, it's not
what I want to know is, like, she like, straight up went through her glass table, got all cut up and everything, and then, like...
Dips.
Peace.
And she the next scene, she had, like, all this, like, bandages and stuff. And because, she went to the hospital.
Yeah.
She went to the hospital, and her boss obviously put her on leave. Was like, yo, get the fuck away from here. And
I'm not sure that you're okay. It's like, well, what do you think?
Well, and I think even before this, she went back to her work, and there was a guy. So,
well, that was like, I guess that was the main part of like the beginning part of like when the first person that she saw that was like quote unquote like in her head.
Yeah.
Was when she's at work and one of the patients is like sitting up smiling.
Yeah.
And she goes in the room and she's like, "Hey, like, is everything okay?" And then he's like, "You're going to die. We're going to die. Like, everyone's going to die. You're going to die. You're going to die."
Yep.
So she starts freaking out and calls for help. And when everyone runs in the room, he's laying on the bed crying. And she's just, like, in the corner screaming, basically.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
And, like, she has... And then they start gripping him up, you know, but he doesn't know. He has no idea why.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because with him doing that was, like, in her head.
Yeah. And then now her boss is seeing her again, but now in the ICU. I mean, I'm assuming it's the ICU. Yeah. And if you fall through a glass table, you're gonna get cut up. Like, she looks pretty banged up, but like now her boss has seen her regress to such a dramatic state. Which, I mean, you know, in that situation, anyone would.
Yeah.
And the fucked up thing about this isn't even like the most fucked up situation and things you find out.
Yeah.
Because you have this happen, and then you start seeing her ex-boyfriend start coming back into the picture.
Yeah, so she ends up basically going to him because at this point, her boyfriend currently, she's trying to talk to her boyfriend. You find out she has a therapist. Her boyfriend is like he can't believe what she's saying because she's losing her mind, and she's trying to explain what's happening like in real time.
Yeah, yeah.
And he won't believe her. Like it is pretty unimaginable. Like you can't. It is pretty unbelievable. Yep. Like you know what I mean. But so he can't believe her, and so she's feeling very alone. Yeah, because now her sister basically told her to F off, doesn't want anything to do with her.
I mean, I also can't even blame her. Could you imagine? No, like your brother or sister comes over.
And but that's the thing, though, is they both have like they had a conversation where they were both like, our mom fucked us up.
Yep.
You know, but I do doing something with my life, or whatever. And then like they both have resentment towards one another.
Well, see, that's when I think you realize is like, that's when you can kind of understand. No, okay, I shouldn't say understand, but that's when you can kind of start seeing the aspect of, I can see why people are a little more standoffish with her with this whole episode, because of the fact that her mom was certifiably crazy. She was like, you learn that she was an addict and all this stuff, and it's like, damn, now her daughter, who this is a genetic thing, gets passed down, and now she's losing her shit.
Yep.
Working all the time. This is now a break. They're not seeing this as a maybe demonic possession, where it's someone like you who's, you know, normal, unless you play Call of Duty and get pissed. Then it's like, okay, if Gavin's going crazy, maybe there's something going on.
Yeah, but like if I'm actually going nuts, maybe you might be like, okay, maybe you haven't.
Maybe the Ouija board is getting cracked out.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I don't know. I just like her sister was being a bitch and was just like, you know, what your mom, like, our mom is blah 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 blah. I was like, whatever. Like she just can't, like, nobody believes this, like nobody believes Cotter, and her sister is like just really like putting it to her about it and like holding her feet to the fire and everything along those lines. Just about like, you know, about the dead cat and everything. Yeah. And yo, not gonna lie though, her sister's husband was a bitch.
Oh, dude, straight cuck.
Dude, I hate him.
She definitely fucks guys.
Dude, I hate him. He was like he was awful.
Dude, when Cotter came back to the house to go talk to her sister,
I don't think that's a good idea.
I think that's a good idea. And she's like, well, I'm gonna talk to my sister, and he goes, no, that's not a good idea. This bitch Holly walks over and goes, you a pussy. Go back in there, put the cock ring back on. Let's call it a day.
Yeah, get in the house.
Get the fuck in there. Go make me a sandwich, bitch. And then he just was like, okay, honey. I'm like, nah, bro. Yeah. You need to go see who Andrew Tate is. Anyways.
No, he's just standing there, and he's like, I'm like, bro, like, pipe down. Yeah. Who are you? No one knows you. You wanna stop moving the table with your fat leg?
I'm sorry.
God.
I have to be able to squat very well with these legs.
Is that gonna happen anytime soon, or?
That was wow.
Anyway,
you're just gonna hear us breathing. You can see it on the fucking thing.
Yeah.
But no, like I do agree. He definitely is a cuck, straight up a cuck.
Yeah,
1,000%.
He was bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, so the movie's going on. She ends up like basically her boyfriend is trying his latch. Like he was also not so much of a great boyfriend as well, but at the same time, she was also doing pretty drastic, crazy things.
Oh yeah.
And he was like trying to keep up, but he didn't give her what it was he didn't give her the leeway that you as a person like would think that you would have done if you were her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like if you watch the movie, you're gonna be like, well, of course I would believe my girlfriend and like blah 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 blah. But the thing is, it's not like she crashed her car or something. Like she killed her cat and then gave it to her nephew.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like she
breaking glasses every night.
Breaking glasses, like drinking, and she's also drinking every night. And like, yeah, it was only a glass of wine, but it's like still you're still drinking. So like there's things where he's like, you know, and then he also feels like there's stuff that like she didn't tell him or about how like her mom was crazy and like she might be crazy because like he leaves like I looked it up. I thought it was funny. He's like I looked it up. It's genetic. I was like,
and the worst part is that scene is happening when the cops are like leaving or whatever it was, and he's like, "What's going on, officers?" And he's like, "It's genetic. I don't want that shit in my kids." Yada yada yada. And he's talking all this reckless
shit. How
would
would you not tell me? And then she's like, "I'm not crazy. I promise I'm not crazy." And he's like, "Nah, you I don't know about that."
There's a screw loose up there, man.
So basically, she ends up going back and seeing her therapist, and then her boyfriend, his last ditch attempt to get her some help was he ended up calling her therapist and like kind of surprising her, like
at home, yeah.
It was kind of fucked up. Like she comes home,
cornered the fuck out of her.
She comes home, and then they're both just sitting there, and she's like, "What's going on?" And they're like, "We think you should talk to me," and blah blah blah. And then she feels like he betrayed her, so she ends up just leaving the house.
Yeah.
And she goes right to her ex-boyfriend's house.
You never trust them bitches, bro. You never trust them bitches.
So she goes straight to her boyfriend's house, or ex-boyfriend's house, and that's when she's like, she's like trying to basically trying to get somebody to understand. And what's funny is he was the only person that like kind of believed her. Because at first he's like, okay, you're nuts.
Well,
you're at my house now.
Well, he also she went over there because she wanted to look at the police records.
Well, yeah,
because I forget how she found out, but she found a connection with the show.
Well, she found the one reporter guy, right?
No. So the girl that killed herself in the beginning, saw her professor die. So she went to the professor's house and saw that he was finding these connections and drawing it and doing all this shit.
Yeah.
And then that's when she was like, I gotta go to Joel. And goes over to Joel, and then she goes, "You're a cop.
Give me the
do everything wrong in your power." Which it wasn't anything that bad.
It was just looking up.
He's just looking up cases, and that's when he finds a connection to over like 20. I think was it 20 or something like that. There's like a bunch of different, not murders, but suicides.
And then you see like CCTV cameras of people that killing themselves and stuff, and you can see the pattern. And then boom, the pattern was broken at some point. And so they hone in on trying to find this one guy who is actually now in prison because he murdered some random person.
Robert Talley, played by Rob Morgan.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's also in the Daredevil or the Punisher series as a arms dealer.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. That was a great series.
I know.
Oh my god.
So he was in prison, and she was smart at first because she was like, I know somebody that like is going through this. How did you beat it? And he's like, the only way to beat it is to kill somebody to break the cycle.
Yeah.
Like to put it on someone else. So he's like, you have to kill someone else before it fully like takes you and like corrupts you and you kill yourself. So he ends up killing this random lady, and so then she is like starting to like lose like her bravado, like or whatever it is, like, and she like makes it slip that she has it, and he freaks out. He's like, "You got it? Nah."
And because she goes, "I can't kill somebody."
Yeah,
and he's like. And then he freaks the fuck out, and the people are taking him out. He's trying to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, so then she ends up like trying to figure out how to beat this or whatever. And that's why I think this is when like the movie is kind of like, okay, she's fully nuts now, because she figures out that what she has to do is go back to her childhood home to face this demon, right?
Which, listen, this is my one gripe is. I thought they did a good job about keeping this like it wasn't as stereotypical as a horror movie goes.
Yeah,
you have your dramatic pauses, your twists and your turns, which I thought they had a really good twist and turns.
Yeah,
but the thing is I also noticed that they had a lot of their jump scares or their loud bravados, you want to call them. But it's like, okay, they've been doing a good job of not keeping this typical. They had great promotions. They're doing all this stuff that people aren't doing, and then you go to a fucking cabin in the woods. This beaten down house.
So
that's my only.
Well, that's
gripe.
the thing. It was like the house was abandoned.
Yeah,
and it was in the woods. Like I was a little off-putting.
That was
like,
my only thing. I'm just like, all right. So now
it was very much like Wayward Pines, kind of like.
Yeah. Oh yes.
So she ends up going back to this house, and she's like, which was creepy. Like this whole last act was just really creepy because like she was like going through the house, and it's from her POV, and it's like dark. All she has is a flashlight, like her phone light. She goes, and then she starts hearing the demon, like, and then she opens the door to the bedroom, and it's her mom. Now through the whole movie, they've been giving you flashbacks of like scenes here and there of like her mom being a drug addict and like killing herself and so on and so forth. And so at this point, you're like, all right, whatever. So there's her mom sitting there, and then it's adult version. But every time you had a flashback, it was like the little kid version of her.
Yeah.
So then she's like an adult now talking to her mom, and then her mom's like, like trying to be nice and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then they start getting a little anxious. They start getting a little angry at each other. And then when Cotter tries to leave, this was creepy. But so this is where the big reveal of like the demon comes in. And it was creepy how they did it, because I don't know if you saw like Legion.
No, I never saw that.
I don't know why I said like Legion. You see Legion? I don't know.
I'm clipping the fuck out of that.
But yeah, so she ends up. So in the movie Legion, there's a scene where you've probably seen the scene where it's like the ice cream truck guy, and he gets out of the car and he's like, "Wah!" And then like his arms extend, his legs extend. His neck
I haven't
extends.
seen this clip.
No.
No.
Well,
I was looking at the edge.
It's from like 2010 or whatever.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
But so that's what kind of happens where like this like the mom starts transforming, and it's like half light half dark, where it's like she's like in like a shadow and she's like transforming, and then like this thing is like 15 fucking feet tall, and
John
like,
is
it grabs like the
massive.
top of the door frame and like grabs it like this and like leans down, and I'm like, oh, that was freaky.
Yeah.
But then it like it comes out of the doorway and like stands up, and it just looks kind of goofy because it's like, I don't know if it was the face.
It was definitely the face. See, that was the thing that like when I knew there was gonna be this big reveal, I was hoping more of like a nun kind of situation, like you know what I'm saying, just something like creepier, maybe like something like that, like has a connect. Because I always think like Catholicism and a lot of that aspect is it has a lot of like creepier aspect of like exorcisms or hurtful. But regardless, is what I'm saying is like when that happened, I'm like, dude, everything about that big reveal, that big scare, could have been so good, and even the reveal was pretty cool. But then it's like you see the face, and it looks like
it throws it off.
It throws it off. It looks like some elongated crackhead.
You know what it looks like? It looked like, you remember Jeff the Killer from like 2012 or whatever?
Yeah,
it looked like that.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
It looked like that.
It was just that attached to a 15-foot body with long, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it was like, whoa.
And he even talked like a fucking pussy. It was like how are you going to kill people for years and have them do suicide, all this crazy shit, and then you're a pleb. You're like a 12-year-old kid playing Call of Duty getting shit on by a 26-year-old dude.
Yeah,
that's what it was like.
It was not good.
It was not good.
And it could have been good. So then what she ends up doing is like confronting it, quote unquote, ends up lighting the whole house on fire, escapes the house, and then she's like, oh my God, like I beat it, whatever.
Oh, dude.
And then her ex-boyfriend,
Joel
comes running up, and he's like, you know, like, hey, like, you know, are you good? Like, or no, wait, what? How? No, it was she went back to her apartment.
Right,
she went back to her apartment, his apartment.
Yep.
And she went back to his apartment. She was telling him like what happened, because she's like, I beat this thing, like whatever. And then that's when it twists again, and you realize that he's like you think at first maybe he's one of them, but because he's like starting to like do the same thing where he's like starting to like talk like menacingly, you know? And then like it snaps, and then she's right back standing in the field in front of the house, not burnt down.
Not a single thing happened.
So she went completely nuts. Like she's nuts now. Like this
thing is full control over.
It's like a 9-minute segment of the movie is all in her head. And so then she walks into the house again, she's standing in the field, and then here comes Joel, who's been looking for her this whole time.
Yep. And
comes sprinting through the trees, and he's like, oh my, he's like, what the hell? Yep. She sees him, and she's like, get the fuck away from me. Runs in the house and runs straight into the big ass demon, and then he just like mind controls her, and literally all 15 feet of him, like, or whatever you want to call it, climbs into her mouth.
Yep.
Like straight up. And he's trying to break down the door, and Joel's trying to break.
Screaming she's
freaking out. So Joel's trying to break down the door, and of course, this demon actually ends up corrupting her, getting inside of her body. He breaks down the door, and they don't show it, but you see in the reflection of his eyes.
Yeah.
She is standing there smiling.
Yep.
Douses herself in gasoline, and then lights herself on fire. Now, this is the dumbest part of the movie, and I'll tell you why. For the last 27 minutes of this movie, or 40 minutes, all they're talking about is if you watch someone kill themselves while smiling, you have that curse put on you.
And he convinced himself. She went to his apartment and was like, let's figure this out.
He didn't believe her, and then he looks into it himself, then he goes, oh shit, she was right.
Yeah.
And then she kills herself, and he's just like, let me pull out the popcorn for this one.
My time to shine. You know what I'm saying? Like,
dude,
if you think about it, police brutality, he could be fine.
I was like,
nah, dude.
I was like, you're gonna lose. The last 15 minutes of the movie really lost me.
Yeah,
really.
The big reveal pissed me off because I was expecting. Like I did like how he came to the doorway like that, but then it's you see it, and then he's not menacing. The face threw me the fuck off, and I'm like, I am no longer scared. Like, one of the scenes that I really did love, which got me actually excited for the big reveal, which I was waiting for at the end, was when she sees a therapist, her and her boyfriend, and that was like a real thing. Then her therapist shows up at her house. And she's like, hey, listen, like I wanted to come check on you, yada, yada, yada. That was fucked up. I shouldn't have came to your house like that and cornered you. But the thing is, you are crazy. You need to prove to me that you're not crazy, so I don't have to admit you. Hashtag be careful what you say to your therapists.
Oh, that was a creepy scene.
And then she's sitting there and she's breaking down, she's crying, and she's like, I believe you, yada yada yada. And then her phone rings. I'm gonna use your phone, and she's like, yeah, I shouldn't have talked to you the other day. I shouldn't have done that.
She's sitting with her therapist, and then basically her therapist calls her.
Yes.
Like.
Well, because in the beginning, that girl that killed herself was like, I saw like my grandfather who already died. People who I trust are just smiling at me.
It was that's the thing is the movie would do a really cool creepy scene and then they would ruin it because like in that scene she's sitting with her therapist, she gets a phone call and she's talking, then all of a sudden it's her therapist on the phone going, I shouldn't have said those things, like I shouldn't have ambushed you, like when can we talk? And then she looks and then this thing's like smiling and then it just starts walking at her and like
goes over the couch
and like just stepping over and like I'm just like it just didn't hit. It didn't scare me. It didn't freak me out. Like it was so close. It was so creepy. You know what I mean? Because what it reminded me of, which was what I was saying before, was it reminded me of the movie When a Stranger Calls.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
The whole plot of that movie is a babysitter, same kind of thing in the middle of the woods on a lake, babysitting in this house, and then just shit starts happening. The climax of the movie is when she's like, answers the phone. She's like, like, what do you want? And then it's the like security people, and they go, we found where the call is coming from. The call is coming from inside the house. And then you get, and you're like, oh, and that is where you get chills because it's like that's where you're like, oh, yeah. But this movie was more like it would do that. It would be a bit like it would be like. You get chills. You're like, oh, that's really creepy, and then somebody would just go like quintessentially, it'd be like putting in like the Windhurst or Windhelm scream, it didn't hit. You know what I mean? It was so close though.
I still think the alarm system scene was probably the scariest part of that movie.
Or totally forgot about the scene where she's in bed, and she's in bed and she like hears something. And then the camera so she's on her side, and the camera's looking at her, but behind her is like a dark hallway, like a doorway and like a dark hallway. And then she just hears her mom calling her name from the dark.
Oh, I forgot about this scene.
Right? She's like,
God.
Yeah. I was like.
I'm telling you, they did a good job with a lot of those fucking creepy-ass scenes.
I would recommend probably, if you can go, if you have like a $5 movie night or something, go see the movie in the theaters. If not, I would wait till it comes out on some kind of streaming platform for free. Wouldn't really spend the $15 on it, but if you want to go see it, whatever.
Let me ask you a question. We talked about doing this before. What do you think you would have done to get out of that? Like how would you have gotten out of that if you were in that? Like if I started smiling and just slit my throat.
Okay. I would probably go to a hospital. And I would find the ward where like the people that are like on life support are, and then I would find somebody that had like they were like basically like allowing the doctors to like put them out, like to kill them, and then I would just do it. I would just kill them. I would just kill them because then I wouldn't corrupt myself. Like I wouldn't become like an evil person. I wouldn't kill myself and become corrupted by the demon, and I would be doing something that was going to happen anyway.
True.
To break the cycle. That's how I'd beat it.
That's smart. I didn't think about that. Okay, that actually would change my answer. I think, but you would probably still go to jail for that, though, then. If they didn't allow you. Okay.
That's fine.
See, personally, I don't think...
I just walk into the thing. I'm just, hey, man, wake up. Hey, buddy.
You're not going to be on life support much longer.
Listen. All right, so I know you signed the documents to have them kill you. Let me do it. Let me do it. Please.
That's crazy, bro. Just the doctor comes in, you're just holding the thing. I need to charge my phone, bro.
Oh, my phone is on 1, bro. Oh, the Phillies are on right now.
My phone's on 5. He's on 1, bro. Obviously, it don't matter.
My fault. The doctor's just like, wow. Okay.
What
if the doctor was just like, I don't know.
I didn't see shit.
I don't get paid.
I've been changing his diaper for the past week. You saved me.
Thank you.
I ain't saying nothing to nobody.
But yeah, that's how I'd beat it. How would you try to beat it?
I think I would. I don't know. It's gonna sound fucked up, but I really think I'd kill myself.
That's the whole point.
No.
You're
but
trying
I'm
to
saying,
survive.
No. So here's the thing.
No, you're trying. The premise of you're trying to survive. You can't just kill yourself.
Okay, so I can't kill myself.
No,
not in front of somebody. I'm saying
no,
like,
you can't. No, you
I want
can't
to do it anyways.
No, you can't kill yourself.
I'm not gonna kill myself. I forgot I said that on the podcast.
You can't kill yourself. You have to survive.
Okay.
It.
All right.
So how would you survive it?
All right. Here's how I would survive it. What I would do, right?
Mm-hmm. Lay it on me.
I would go to I would go to North Korea. All right. Nah, man. You already know where this is going.
Yeah.
Here's what I would do, right? I would try to do it in a way where it would see, the thing is I want to be like, I'm trying to think of a way to do it with doing killing someone in a noble way, but not go to jail.
So,
because what I would love to do is like kill a sex offender.
Well, yeah,
that would be really like go on the registry, be like, okay, this guy's confirmed. There's actual evidence he was convicted.
Well, yeah,
for like an actual reason.
You'd still go to prison.
What?
You'd still go to prison.
I know. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, but what if you went and killed like, that's why I kind of want to do the on life support people because
that's not a bad idea. I still think if I had to kill somebody and I couldn't do that, I think what I would do. Nah.
Would you kill me if you had to?
Nah, buddy, I'm sorry. I hope you live a long life.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like if it was like you either all right, ready? Let me put it to you this way.
Oh, you're fucked up.
If it was like you're about to, you either okay, here we go, ready? So what if you had a choice? Would you rather let a random person, like a random person see you kill yourself, right? Because you're corrupted by the demon, or would you rather just kill me and then survive?
I'd rather corrupt somebody.
But then you'd be dead.
That's fine. Where everything's going now, it's all good. No, I think if I had to kill somebody and that's all I saw, and you're running out of time. I don't have time to go to North Korea or something like that. Yeah. I think what I really would do.
We have 5 days.
Yeah, but like, it takes about probably like 18 hours to get over there, and you got to factor in getting because you have to get an actual a different passport to get into North Korea. Take a lot longer, and honestly, this thing would probably kill me before then. So I think what I would do is I would find a pedophile, like a convicted, legitimate pedophile, slaughter the shit out of him, fuck his eye, and yeah, I would kill him, and I'd probably go to jail. But what I would do is show my papers when I get in there. I'd be like, I fucked this pedophile up. I killed him. I did everything he did to that child to him, and then I run that jail. Right, I beat up the biggest guy in the jail. I beat him the fuck up. Then I'm kingpin. Then when I'm kingpin, I walk around the jail. I'm like, you're my bitch now. Go to the warden, slap him up or her. Equal rights, equal fights. And I'm definitely getting canceled for that. And then after that happens, I run the jail. And then I get paid the big bucks. And the warden goes to jail for all the fucked up things he or she did. And then I run for president of the United States because I did such a good job at the jail. And then when I'm president, I go, well, this isn't big enough for me. So then I go and take over Russia, China, Ukraine, all that stuff. And then I am now the leader of the free world. World. WORLD.
So basically your plan...
World domination.
Of surviving a demon is becoming Hitler.
No, I'm not gonna. No, I would never do genocide. No,
not the genocide part, but the world domination part.
Nah, bro. I will give you full permission to kill me if I ever turn evil.
You just explained to me how you turn evil.
But I'm not gonna turn evil. I'm gonna turn correct. But
world domination in and of itself is an evil act because you're trying to conquer everybody on the planet.
Nah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna own your country now. And Putin's gonna go, thanks, Matt. And then I'm gonna go over to China. Thank you.
No.
And then I'm gonna have the biggest military in the entire world. And then what are they gonna do? Fight me? No, they're gonna shake my hand, and now I own everything.
No,
I haven't had to kill a single person.
No.
Keep your culture, keep your money. You enjoy life. That all it is just I'm the one in charge now. But nothing changed for you. I just want the title. You want to live your life? You want to keep your euro? Cool, dog. Sounds great. You don't gotta answer me. I just want the title. That's all I want. And all that happened is because of demon.
I don't know. I feel like you're walking a tight line there.
You have full permission to kill me if I turn evil.
Okay.
All right. We just ran up to the 50 minutes.
You're evil from the start.
Is there anything else you want to add here, Gav?
I just want to make it known that I have had full faith in the Philadelphia Phillies since April of this year.
I did not.
And I want to put it on record that when the Phillies win the World Series, you all knew that I was right and you were wrong.
I'm gonna clip that. I'm gonna put that up.
Do it.
All right, cool. I will. All right, guys. As we say every week, make sure you're taking care of us. We saw a lot of your comments on the last video. We really appreciate that, guys. As Gavin always says, any feedback is good feedback. So we're gonna do our best to make this the best kind of experience you like and have and enjoy. So make sure you're subscribing, liking, checking all that out. But if that's it, guys, enjoy the rest of your day and stay smiling.